Dear chess friends, this is Jiří Dufek on your chess channel, and today I will show you game Chytí like Jorge, which was played in correspondence tournament in 2000, which means this is just 19 years old, but I think it's very topical for fianchetto line in King's Indian defense. Let's start. Knight f3, knight f6, c4, d6, knight c3, 5, g3, g6, bishop g2, bishop g7, d4. Now we are back in King's Indian. Knight b d7, short castle board, e4. And this is of course basic position of fianchetto line with knight b d7 and e5 for black. This line started to be interesting for black players after 1946, when there was played a match between Prague and Moscow, and Bronstein played this as black and won two amazing games. I think Bronstein played in both of them with Zita and with Bachmann. And later, in 1953, Arises in Zurich was played candidate tournament, and Russian players started to play ed4 in this position. And after knight d4, knight c5, h3, a5, and since then we call this pawn structure Zurich pawn structure, because in this tournament black never lost this position. And after rook e1, rook e8, queen c2, a4, bishop e3, c6, rook a d1, knight f d7. Black got interesting counterplay with queen a5, knight e5, and later maybe h3 and so on, with some counterplay against c4 and white kingside, queenside. But later white found some improvements. For example, after rook e8, white started to play knight dv5, and now black faced a very unpleasant problem with pawn on d6 because c6 is impossible, and it's very hard to get a counterplay against this knight on b5, which is in fact forever. This is why slowly white found ways how to play against this black setup. This is why after e4 black started to looking for alternative way how to develop, and one of the main line is c6, h3, and queen b6. And with this move, just not only develop queen on b6, but some way attacking pawn on b2, some way attacking pawn on d4, and of course it's quite questionable how I should develop this bishop. Of course e3 square is clear for it, but it means that white need to spend some time to defend b2 pawn. And for example, in one recent game, rook e1 was played, ed4, knight d4. Oh, we are back in Zurich pawn structure, but with queen on b6, black can look for some counterplay. Rook e8, knight c2, knight e5, attacking this pawn. But of course, knight on c2 quite restrain white pieces, because c2 square is just for a queen, not for a knight. Now after b3, bishop e6, knight e3, knight f d7, this is just that no, knight on e3 just restrain to white bishop, because e3 square is just for a bishop. And in a game won well at Iban, but to May 2018, White continued bishop b2, which is still very good. Knight c5. And now we see that just Black got some kind of counterplay. d3 square is very hard to cover. And after bishop f1, Black played shocking move. Bishop takes h3. And after bishop takes, rook ed3, double attack, b2 and e1. And after queen c2, taking on b2. Oh, of course, white cannot take because this one. And after bishop f1, rook e6, rook ab1, queen a5, rook ac1, rook e8, bishop rook takes b2, taking on e4, taking on b2. Just Black has got a rook and 2 pawns for 2 pieces. Probably white is still slightly better because, of course, the idea on g4 and knight f6 or knight g6 is very strong, and probably Black should count on rook takes e3 in some way. But I think that this line is just something what Black wants. Simply obstruct white play in a center, and this is of course something which I don't like. But in 80s, Czech international master Miloš Mužný found, or he defended a very interesting gambit idea, which is starting with c5. After dc, it's forced. He takes e5, knight e8, e6, fe. Now, of course, we can stop for a while, and we see that for a pawn, white ruined Black pawn structure because these pawns are very weak. And of course, in some deep middle game, we can think about h4, h5, of course using g5 square for knight, for example. And these pawns on queenside, look at the position, Black is 2 pawns up on the queenside, but it's very hard to move them forward because there is no support from our pieces. And I think that white has full compensation, even I think that white has more than compensation for a pawn. And Hitilek played knight g5, which is of course main move. But I think that another very interesting line, and not so forced, is starting with knight a4. After queen a6, knight g5, knight c7, bishop e3. And I think that this is slow position way with very good compensation for a pawn, and which is much more important, even not only for correspondence game. There are not forced lines, and I think that white can slowly improve his positions with something like queen c2, rook something like rook d1, f4, and of course e5. It would be very nice for white. It's not so clear how should Black continue with his development, mainly these 2 pieces. But knight g5 is a move, knight e5, f4, knight f7, knight takes f7, and now very important move for Black, and this is just bishop e4 check. Otherwise, if Black takes on f7, then e5 goes into the way for Black bishop, and now of course knight e4 and using knight g5 and opening h file. It will be disaster for Black. And in Khalifman game against Hernandez Guerrero in Merida 2001. The game continued knight c7, knight e4, using this square for knight, of course, it's clear. Knight d5, h2, preventing any c4 ideas. Bishop d7, queen c2, bishop f8, bishop d2, a5, h4, just h5 and knight g5 ideas. Bishop e7, rook a1, rook a8, bishop e3, knight b4, queen c4, queen a6. And after exchanging queens, rook d1. We see a typical Catalan compensation, and white won just in 41 moves. Probably he could play even somewhere much better, and probably he could decide to game with mating attack. But bishop d4 is the main move. After king h2, rook takes f7, e5. We see the main position and basic position of this line, and I think that white chances are much higher than black, even if the Contronius in his books about Grünfeld Defence, he thought that black is absolutely okay, but I cannot agree. And Jorge played queen c7, which is one of the main moves. So second one is knight c7. But in another correspondence game, Kitzman Senzaqua, in correspondence game from 2017, white simply got a better position after knight e4, knight d5, queen g4, queen d8, h4, rook g7, rook d1, a5, and now do you see a way how to develop your queenside? Oh, I think so. a4, b6, and rook h3. And this simple way, with this rook lift on over the third rank, gives white very strong initiative. Queen e7, knight g5, bishop d7, queen e2, bishop c8, bishop e3. White even sacrifice a exchange. And after some moves, his compensation was so strong, because his knight on e4 is, of course, too strong piece. And in fact, black couldn't save a game, and he lost in 47 moves. But queen c7 is second very strong move into position. But now Hitilek played queen c2, which is not so well-known move, but I think it's maybe stronger than another official theoretical move, because now black needs to make some decision, and I think that Contronius offered something like b6, and he offers lines like knight b5, cb, bishop a8, bishop e5, queen e2, bishop d4, bishop e3, bishop f6, queen b5, knight d6, queen e2, knight f5, with compensation for black. But I think this is absolutely misunderstanding of position, because look at the position now. Black played b6, and up this moment white sacrificed a pawn with Catalan compensation, and there is no reason to take a counter-sacrifice with knight b5 and bishop e8, because you don't need the material at the moment. And I think that much better way how to handle position like this is to simply improve your position and improve your pieces with something like knight e4, knight g7, knight g5, rook f8, g4, taking f5 under control, and maybe even h5, bishop b7, a4, stopping b5 or even threatening a5. But after something like, probably now black is forced to return pawn with c4. And after queen c4, c5, rook a3, typical move, rook a d8, queen c2, bishop d5, bishop takes d5, rook takes d5, and rook af3. We see that just now we have material equality on the board, but with so active pieces on the king side, with something like knight e4 and knight f6 on agenda, I think white has very nice advantage. And he can improve his position with moves like bishop d2, maybe bishop c3, or bishop e1, bishop h4, with maneuver white knight to f6. And generally there is no reason to just after b6 to take an exchange. I think this is a very stupid decision. But after queen c2, Jorge took on c3, queen c3, b6. Less pieces, less problems, probably he thought. Queen c4. And now he played knight g7. Probably better move into position was absurd computer move, queen d7. After queen c2, bishop b7, rook d1, queen e7. Probably we see that maybe black can transfer the knight from e8 to d5 with some kind of counterplay and with some kind of fortress. But he played knight g7 that he wants to activate his knight over f5. Then, of course, logical move is g4. Rook d7, bishop e3, bishop g7, bishop b7, rook a d1, and now black had another very interesting idea into position, and this is just rook d5. With idea, of course, sacrifice exchange and getting some counterplay and space on the queen side. Of course, now a5 is against anything like a3 and b4, and after and then black, of course, wants to continue something like d4, queen c6, with some counterplay on the long diagonal. But I think that we don't need to exchange on d5. We can simply improve position with queen c2, queen e7, rook d1, and after bishop a6, rook f2, with preparing bishop e4 and rook g1, and then maybe preparing f5 or transferring bishop over f2 to h4 and f6, with very strong initiative on the king side. But black played rook a d8, exchanging rooks on d7, bishop e4, controlling all squares on a d5, queen d8, rook f2, and now black made a mistake. Of course, today's computers shows immediately that this is losing mistake. But 19 years ago, everything was possible, even in a correspondence game. Probably better was to play queen c7 and after h3 something like king h8 and waiting for white improvements of position. Of course, I think that something like king g3 with h4 is one idea. Second idea is something like rook e2, bishop f2, bishop h4, with idea bishop f6, of course. And and of course f5 is something like which of course white wants to play, but it means move bishop from e3 to g3 over f2. I think white has a lot of ideas, and I checked this position with the computer. It shows something like more than +1, which means that this is a very nice advantage, and white can simply improve his position slowly, and he don't need to force anything. But after king h8, white played f5 immediately, and after gf, queen c7, now simple but very strong move, queen c3, immediately decided the game. And black resigned. I will show you why. Because after queen c3, he takes f5, bishop f4, very important move, because now e6 is terrible threat. And after knight e6, bishop f5, knight takes f4, bishop d7, queen takes d7, e6, check, but not only check, but attacking queen, and after queen d4, which looks like just blacks have everything covered, but e7 decided game, because of course his pawn is unstoppable and e8 queening will decide immediately. That is why black resigned. But even if he would play something like queen c7 and on move 26, I think that white has a very nice advantage in this position. Oh, some conclusion on this game. Oh, I think that white is in a typical Zurich pawn structure, something like this. White must be simply better because he has more space, and his center is very strong and supported with the pieces. After queen b6, I think that sacrificing pawn like Miloš Možný with c5 is the best way how to react on queen b6 line. Because after rook e1, I think that even if white is probably slightly better, there are a lot of tactics and tactical motives for black, like in the position, like in game Van Valley Atiban from Batumi 2018, and in this position surprising bishop h3. I think that we should push push a pawn on c5 and making big pressure on a black position. And even if you check this, if you don't like long variation after knight g5, I think that's still relatively new and unexplored line, which started with knight a4, queen a6, knight g5, knight c7, bishop e3, is still very good for white. And even if you decided to follow Chytilek game, which I don't know if you know, but Roman Chytilek is #1 in correspondence chess world, I think that still his line and still his play is very good, and queen c2 is an explored move, and even Contronia's book just mentioned it but with absolutely false evaluation of line. I think that white has advantage in all lines, but which is important after Contronia's b6 move, you shouldn't take an exchange after knight b5, but you should improve your position with knight e4, knight g7, knight g5, rook f8 and g4 with stable advantage for white. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.